Good morning, welcome to CATEX-TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. This is a live broadcast from Princeton, New Jersey. Today is Monday, February 14th, 2011. It's 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in the U.S. It's 4:30 p.m. in London, 12:30 in Hamilton. In Mexico City, it's 10:30 a.m. If you need to reach us during the broadcast, you can phone in toll-free at 1-866-67-CATEX. Overseas, our AOL instant mail address is CATEX-TV. We're just getting reports that there have been tear gas rubber bullets fired by Iranian security forces at crowds of youths in downtown Tehran. We'll have more with that on our final story. The mayor of New York City today, Michael Bloomberg, is 69 years old. We'll now go to our main news. Well, there was a good-sized earthquake this morning in Chile. A 6.6 hit off the coast of central southern Chile. No casualties or damage. Quake took place at about 3:40 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time. The epicenter was located offshore Male. The Chilean authorities say that there is no risk of a tsunami. A few hours before that, an earthquake measuring 6.0 shook Biobío in central southern Chile. No damage or injuries there. Also, yesterday as well, two quakes measuring 5.8 and 5.6 respectively rattled the same region in Biobío. Meanwhile, in Western Europe today, by Koblenz, a moderate earthquake rattled western Germany just this afternoon. No damage or injuries were reported. The quake was a 4.8, hit at 1:43 p.m. local time. It was about 3 miles east of Koblenz in the Rhineland-Palatinate near the Rhine River. Struck about 6 miles below the surface of the earth, making it a shallow earthquake. Madagascar is being belted right now by the heavy winds and rains of Cyclone Bengizia. It's being lashed by heavy rains. As you can see, the projected path here, it's just coming ashore right now on the eastern part of the island. The outer bands are already bringing heavy rain. The center of the storm is just hitting the eastern part of the island. The eye of the storm has sustained winds of nearly 160 kilometers per hour. That's about 100 miles per hour. And gusts of wind of 195 kilometers per hour. That's about 120 miles an hour. That makes it the equivalent of a Category 2 hurricane. The storm is still expected to strengthen as it creeps slowly westward. The epicenter, or where it's going to break water, if you will, is near the town of Manara Avatera in the northeast. It has over 30,000 people, mainly relying on agriculture for their livelihood. Of course, the fear is not only damage to the rudimentary housing, but also to the crops and the fields of crops in the area. News from Marsh McLennan. The insurance broker has promoted David Bidmead to the newly created position of Chief Executive Officer of Marsh US. The move comes as Marsh realigns its structure into 3 regional zones, East, Central, and West, from 4 zones, Northeast, Midwest, South, and West. The offices of its South Zone will be integrated into its East and Central Zone. Bidmead is currently the head of its U.S. West Zone. He was previously CEO of Marsh Australia. And in Peoria, Illinois, the founder and chairman of RLI Insurance, Gerald Stevens, this is the gentleman on the left, the man on the right is Mike Stone, the current CEO. Mr. Stevens is going to retire from RLI's board on May 5th, following the annual meeting. The president and chief executive officer, Jonathan Michael, will assume the role. Stevens served as president for 39 years and 11 years as chairman of the board. He said in a statement that it's the right time to retire from active involvement. Stevens founded Peoria-based RLI back in 1961. It's a very well-run company, and he has a legacy he can be very proud of. Stock market in New York is down about 18 points right now. We'll go to a word from our sponsors.
And now, Design for Peace.
Well, this is official. China has officially become the world's second biggest economy after the United States, pushed Japan to third place. This is as a result of 2010 statistics. Japan had been number 2 for 42 years. Its cabinet released information this morning showing a contraction in the last quarter was due to weak consumer spending and a strong yen. That pushed China forward. China's move up to number 2 reflects a shift in economic power, but of course also highlights the need for Japan to energize its economy. Japan remains around 10 times richer, though, than China on a per capita basis, according to the IMF. Predictions vary as to when China may overtake the U.S. as the number 1 economy, but according to the World Bank, it should happen by 2025. China, of course, is growing rapidly and driving the global economy, while Japan is struggling with deflation, an aging population, and a ballooning public debt. That sounds pretty familiar. Soon people will be able to say that about here. Everest Re has made some news. They reinforced their strength in the Canadian insurance and reinsurance market after acquiring one firm and entering into an agreement to buy parts of another. Toronto-based MGA Premier Underwriting Services, which specializes in entertainment and sports risks, will operate as an affiliate of Everest Insurance Company of Canada. Everest Canada has also bought renewal rights and operations of Executive Risk Insurance Services financial lines business. This particular segment is based in Toronto, underwrites products such as D&O, errors and omissions, and fidelity. The chief executive of Everest National Insurance, Mark Herman, said these purchases will continue our efforts to expand our insurance platform into short-tail specialty lines. Chartis made some news. The non-life insurance unit of American International Group said that it will buy all the shares of Fuji Fire and Marine that it does not currently own, making it a wholly owned subsidiary. Chartis plans to buy the remaining 45.3% stake it doesn't own for about $568 million US. Tender offer represents about a 29% premium over Fuji's stock over the last 3 months. Chartis has no plans to merge Fuji with the existing operations of Chartis in Japan. Fuji is going to retain its brand name and structure. The transaction is expected to close in the second half. Fuji will, of course, be delisted from the Osaka Stock Exchange and the Tokyo Exchange after all the shares are transferred. Well, the news from Egypt is that President Mubarak is ill. Wildly gyrates from him being in a coma to just simply being at his villa in Sharm el-Sheikh. I suspect no one's ever going to exactly know. But one thing is happening is that the movement is continuing to spread eastward. Iranian authorities have clamped down on opposition groups who are protesting today. Riot police have been deployed throughout the streets of Tehran. The Ahmadinejad regime fears that the demonstrations could turn into some sort of Egyptian redo. According to a witness, there are dozens of police and security forces. They have blocked entrances to metro stations in the area downtown. Anti-riot police on motorbikes are armed with shotguns, tear gas, batons, and fire extinguishers. Despite backing uprisings across the Arab world over the last month, the Ahmadinejad government has refused to allow protests in Tehran, fearing a repeat of the unrest that followed the June 2009 elections. However, several groups said that they will stage the rally no matter what to support ongoing revolts in Arab countries. The renewed protests coincided with plans for demonstrations across the Gulf in tiny Bahrain, which has cultural and religious ties to Iran because of its Shia population. I'll tell you, it's really something. I don't think anybody quite knows what's going to happen. President Obama has submitted a budget to the Congress. It's a $3.7 trillion budget proposal. Also calls for a substantial reduction in the debt, as well as a curtailing of government spending. We'll see what the Republicans do with it. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. If not, thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.